briefly touched on it before. I was just saying that every region has its own meta, and everyone's stuck in place. Like our meta is the best meta. I mean, I would say people definitely take influences from other ones. Like we'd look at what the EU sort of scene is doing, NA scene is doing, for example, and be like, okay, well, we can incorporate it into our own sort of style. But like, for example, with IEM, when the Koreans came over and just ran like triple tank, everyone's like, well, this is a bit strange. And then, this absolutely blitz Virtus Pro, who are, are a really strong squad. So it's going to be interesting, really, to see how it all comes to a head at BlizzCon, and if the Koreans, like most things, just dominate again.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I don't know. I think, as I said earlier, I personally prefer one warrior, one support, two ranged assassins, and then your third pick being a melee assassin or a ranged assassin. I still think personally that that's sort of the ideal setup. Maybe your fifth pick being a specialist, so your specialist being Abathar or Zagara or something like that. But as I was saying, the double warrior and double support comps in particular, I think they are picked as a reactionary to, one, the map, and two, how the drafting's going. So I think double support and double warrior are a lot more prevalent on Sky Temple. I think they're a lot better on Sky Temple in particular because you have to be consistently brawling. So yeah, I think again they have their time and their place. They're not comps that I'd run no matter what as a blanket rule. I think they are reactionary comps depending on the situation that's happening in draft. As I said, in MSI qualifiers, there were situations where after both teams had their second ban, there were literally no other tier one assassins left. So, obviously in that situation, you either have to go down the hero pool to a tier 2 assassin, which is obviously, suboptimal, or you pick up a second support or you pick up a second warrior. So, yeah, I guess, and building on what Skimmy said, we're going to see how each region implements their own comps at BlizzCon and see which one's the best, I guess.
Yep. All right, too easy. All right, so we'll leave it there. This conversation, little bit cursed, having that drop out in the middle of it. But thanks very much. It's actually really good advice that guys give. I think it give people a bit of perspective on how teams are picking their compositions for their teams, and hopefully people take some stuff away from Hero Draft. All right, so just moving on. So now we've come up on the closing moments of the show. Just one last thing. I did want to thank you very much for your time, guys. By the way, it's been excellent having you guys on the show. Just want to do a bit of a community spotlight, just to try and promote content creators, esports teams, players, YouTubers, streamers, everything like that. So eventually get a whole bunch of people in through the show. So I'd just love to ask you guys some general questions about life being in the top teams for the Heroes of the Storm ANZ area. So I just wanted to start with some simple questions. So basically, how did you guys get involved in the Heroes of the Storm esports teams? Is this your first competitive team or a competitive game, or did you guys play you just naturally gravitated away from other things?
I can take it away first, you want, bro?
Yeah, go for it, man.
That's sweet. Well, I've been playing games for a really long time. Always enjoyed playing them, and sort of had that mindset that if I wasn't good, I didn't really enjoy it. So I suppose that kind of motivates you in a sense to get better. I played League on-off for, I suppose, a couple of years. I played with KVA. So we gravitated from things like Dota to Hon to League. And then eventually, when we saw this game come out, because it had the backing of Blizzard, we're like, well, this is going to eventually become big. I've got the faith behind it. So we made the switch to it. And I say we jumped on board like shy really early back in Alpha, and we've sort of just stuck ship with it the whole way. So it's a good game from what I've experienced. I'm enjoying it a lot, but it's obviously a sort of a work in progress. There's a lot of things that you like, Dota has this and League has that. But, I'm very patient with it. And I say I'm still enjoying it. I've got a good squad of players that we've come to get amongst. We found them all early when we're starting in Alpha. And, I think consistency, if you can ideally stick with the same bunch of boys, it's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of similar to Skimmy in that if I'm not like decent or good at a game, I don't really enjoy it. So I have that same sort of competitive drive. Same sort of thing. I've started when I was like 10, 12, started playing games. And when I hit 13, 14, I really started getting into sort of the competitive mindset for games. I think my history, I started in Warcraft 3, went to Dota, went back to Warcraft 3, went to StarCraft 2, went to LoL, and then went to Heroes of the Storm. For you, some people may not know my background in LoL, but I was actually part of the old Team Immunity LoL team as well. We represented Oceania in Germany back in 2013. So I have quite a long history of successful esport competitiveness. How I got into HOTS, well, basically I got sick of LoL. I was sort of in the region of being challenger, wasn't really on a team, didn't really enjoy LoL anymore, so I tried Heroes of the Storm. Within a week, I was sort of in the upper players of ANZ, albeit the community was very small then. It was like me, Skimmy, and probably 20 other people. And then back then, so that was back in October, made Team Tribute, which lasted about 3 months, disbanded. Then I joined the old Team Immunity, and then from there, now the new Team Immunity, or Team Immunity White. So, yeah.
All right, both sort of interesting stuff. So it's basically, guys just had a huge drive from the word go. It's wanted to improve your gameplay, be better, and it's just naturally gravitated towards wanting to be the best of Heroes of the Storm, or did you just literally find yourselves there? Like, well, I want to be the best. I've gone to this team. The team's now the top. It's so huge. Both have a huge competitive drive, and it's really good to hear. It's actually good to anyone else who has that sort of same feeling as well. Anyone else who's trying to come up the ranks or come up into the community. It's a huge. Just if you feel you have that competitive drive, stick with it. Is that sort of what you'd suggest to people? Stick with it if you've got the drive. If that makes sense. I'm just saying where is at the moment. Disconnect still shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, I would definitely say.
All right.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, man. I was going to say, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have a competitive drive and you really want to sort of be considered a top player, I think persistence is key. Obviously, don't be afraid to play. The more games you play, the better you become. The better you become, the more known you start to become in the community, and then from there you can start joining top competitive teams. Cruven, I guess Cruven is actually a really good example of that, who just joined Apex. Me and Skimmy don't really know him, but Arcana is a top player, and through Cruven consistently improving and playing in Hero League, he got noticed by Arcana, who he's now on a top team. So I think, persistence and having the drive to want to improve your gameplay is how you go up in the ranks.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, awesome. Just out of interest, so a lot of people probably watching you guys in these tournaments and stuff. Obviously, you guys practice, you train with your team to get better and all that. What does your week work like? Is this full time? Do you guys are getting paid to be on these teams? I don't know if what you can talk about. Are you getting paid to be on these teams? Do you still have to have full time jobs? Is this like part time commitment? Like you only train during the nights? What's your sort of average week in the Heroes of the Storm esports scene?
Go for it, Skimmy.
So I mean, I can't speak for the rest of the teams, but for us at least, we have a schedule in place. So we try and have scrims on certain nights to try and work around people's schedule. We've got people studying, we've got people working. So it's all sort of trying to juggle and manage, what everyone can do. And then you've got these certain days allocated that you want to be able to scrim on. And you've got to try and find other teams that can, participate. And this is when there's a bit of a stage where ourselves and Immunity and whatnot will start looking to SEA. Because the scene was very small for a long, long time, and it was literally us just scrimming each other back and forth, and there wasn't much room for sort of growth or development. So you look to these other regions because you're looking for other players, but then it becomes a time constraint because you're potentially scrimming until 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. So an average week, it's definitely part-time at this stage. Generally speaking, your bigger regions like your NA and EU, they're on these sort of big organizations, potentially getting paid big amounts of money through sponsorships and whatnot to be a full-time gamer. But at least for the meantime, it's something that we play on the side and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. same sort of situation as Exile 5 for Team Immunity White. We don't really have a schedule though. We have our Skype chat, and every day we'll type in, all right, are we scrimming tonight? What's everyone's schedules? You know, it might be a little bit messy, but we usually just take it day by day, because other teams, other teams' availabilities may change. So yeah, we just type in Skype, you know, can we play tonight? Cool, let's find scrims. That's generally what we do. Same thing again, none of us are full time. You know, we do it sort of as an enthusiastic hobby, I guess, you know, part time, but we're not getting paid. Most of us are students or working full time. So we have to, in the nights especially, make the time to be able to team practice. I think I speak on behalf of most of the ANZ community. The dream and the goal is to win ANZ finals and represent the region overseas. So that is everyone's common goal. And, you know, through that, everyone practices around the same time. Yeah, I think that's it really.
Yep. All right, so you really, at the end of the day, besides being extremely or exceptionally good at Heroes of the Storm, I mean, you guys are just living the same lives that everyone else is. You've just decided Heroes of the Storm is what we want to do, is what we want to be good at, want to be best at. So it's not an unachievable dream just for, I don't say anyone, obviously you need to have the drive to do it, but it's something that could be attainable for someone who's willing to put in the after hours time, the nighttime play sessions.
Yep.
So it's that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's just about commitment.
It's commitment and communication. Like, definitely, as Shai mentioned, they have a Skype chat they can talk with as a group, which is a third-party program. We use Viber, and that way we can always keep in touch with people on the go, on the fly, as opposed to sort of waiting for them to frantically log on to Battle.net and then be like, oh, can you scrim? And then they're like, oh, sorry, like I've just got in from work, give me 30 minutes or whatever. So it gives you a lot more sort of reliable ways to plan stuff out.
Yep. All right, cool. So suggestion to anyone trying to get into the scene or trying to organize a team, have a better form of communication than just your Battle.net IDs.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So an interesting question. What was your guys' first Heroes of the Storm tournament like? Like, were you a well-polished machine, or was it just total chaos?
Far from it. Those are the days.
Basically, the first tournament, I think, the first tournament me and Skimmy both played it was Kings of Alpha, and there was a huge build-up to it. It was the first, huge competitive tournament. I think Tribute at the time was probably considered the favourites, and XL5, a close favourite. And I think, Tribute sort of just got destroyed by everyone. We lost to XL5 quite hard in, I think, the semi-finals, and then we bowed out to a team that we arguably shouldn't have lost to in the losers bracket. So, even if you're a top, I think we covered this earlier, but even if you're a top player mechanically, if you're not a unified team, both in strategy and communication, it is extremely, extremely easy to still lose. Individual play does not matter nearly as much as it does in League of Legends in this game. This game is much more about working as a team and being a unified body. So without that, and I'll be straight up, Tribute failed quite horribly in that tournament because of that exact reason. We weren't on the same page. Communication sucked. We all had great individual players, but we weren't communicating as a team. So we failed, and XL5 took it out because they were a unified body.
Yeah, I suppose to really sort of touch on that point and what Happy was saying earlier, you've all got to be on the same page. If somebody makes a call, generally speaking, you have that sort of one in-game leader who's making those calls, and you have full faith in what he says. And, even if they're not 100% on what they're saying, at least you've gone for something, because as Shai mentioned, unlike in League where you could be like a really fed carry, you can't go around one-shotting people and, making these big plays. It's very much a case of that was a 4v5 or we're one talent down. Why do we engage? So, you've got to definitely listen to the call and definitely have faith in your teammates that, hey, if I tumble in and make this play, have you got my back? Otherwise, you're in Africa and you're just going to die for free. And you're going to have a few team members to really explain to.
All right, awesome. All right, so we'll just go on. It's we'll just So I guess I was speaking about talking about like a lot of more team focus in Heroes of the Storm. Just on that note, and maybe the same for both of you. What so you've come across to Heroes of the Storm. One big reason was because it's a Blizzard product, and Blizzard always back their stuff pretty good, and they're always pretty big in the esports scene. But Heroes of the Storm, what is the aspect of Heroes of the Storm that you guys both really like? Like, what do you think is the most important thing, or most interesting thing, or most unique, or what's that huge selling point? Because say Blizzard made a game. Blizzard made a game called Rock and Roll Racing. We don't see that in the the esports scene anymore. Ever. I don't think ever, actually. Sorry, I should say. Maybe there obviously would have been one thing that really got your attention with Heroes. I'm like, oh man, that team aspect is really cool. What are your guys' huge thing about Heroes of the Storm that really ties you to it?
I think for me, it's team experience and no gold or last hitting. So they've removed the last hitting and gold element, and they've just had team experience. And because they've added that feature and removed those other features, the result is a much quicker game. Because you're not having to lane to get gold, you no longer need to sit in lanes. So, you're brawling a lot more, and objectives suddenly become a heck of a lot more important than sitting in lane idly for 10 minutes. So for me, it's the fact that there's team experience, and because of it being an objective-based game with experience rather than gold, you're constantly brawling. And if you're constantly brawling, the game is naturally quicker. So, yeah, that's it for me. The fact that it's really quick.
Yeah, I would say it's just the variation. The fact that it's so different to what League, Dota, and Honor's like, where they've got that conventional model of, your support being 5 levels under the carry and sort of just running around, sort of praising him and making sure the guy doesn't die. But in this game, you got variation in terms of that. You got variation in terms of there's a different map every so often. So you're no longer just on this one sort of map. You got to learn it inside out. It's like, okay, how do we play in Haunted Mines, or how do we play in Cursed Hollow? And then there's definitely cases where teams have their favorite. That adds another sort of element to the game to it. So I mean, it's quick paced, it's fast, and you're sort of straight into the action as opposed to 20 minutes of farming and then okay, let's have one team fight and see who wins.
All right, so both, and I thought it might have been a big thing because it's a big draw for a lot of players. So you're both just really loving the shared experience, the fact that from the word go, it's team. You're a team. You go from you level as a team, you die as a team, you win as a team.
That's it.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome guys. Well, it's that's it for our show. So, thanks very much for being a part of the first episode of Heroes Untapped. Hopefully, our little DC issue didn't disrupt anything too much. But you've both been great to have on the show. I think we went through a lot of really cool stuff happening in the ANZ region. Just love to give you guys an opportunity to let people know where they can find you guys. If for example, your Twitter, Facebook, where can we guys find you at? So Shy, if you want to go first. If you want to go, you may not want to do it at all.
Yeah, sure. Probably the best bet for team updates from me for Team Immunity Y in the future. Follow me at Twitter on im_shy_intel. Also, chuck Team Immunity a like on Facebook. If you just type in Team Immunity, it'll come up. And just quickly shout out to my sponsors with Team Immunity: Gigabyte, BenQ, Fractal Design, Gale, AK Racing, Intel, and SteelSeries.
Cool. If you want to follow us guys here at XL5, you can follow myself on Twitter, x5_skimmy. You can follow the whole gang at x5_heroes. You can find the other members there. Likewise, if you just search up XL5 Heroes on Facebook, that way you can keep up to date with what we're up to, when our tournaments are being played, and any guides or any special promotions.
All right, awesome. And a happy Rage as well. Do you want to do your piece?
Yeah. Actually just got some really big news from Cagnion, the ANZ Blizzard person, Blue, the main esports manager, and we're getting double bans for the ANZ Championship.
Oh,
yay!
Literally just got the news.
Awesome.
Well done. Good job.
Well done, Ninja, mate. You know who you are.
All right.
All right. So
all credit to Ninja.
Yeah. Outro stuff. Twitter at x5_happyrage. Good. Got some YouTube stuff that I'll start doing now that I've got my new computer. So if you want to follow that, it's YouTube/thehappyrage19. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to Disconcur for setting this up. It was always a plan for me to do this eventually, but I didn't show the initiative. He did. Congratulations, and you're doing a good job, mate.
No worries. Thanks very much. It's you can still doing the thanks. Sorry, I don't take positive stuff too well, just because I don't know how to handle it. Anyway, you guys can if you've loved Heroes Untapped, you can find the podcast. It will be hosted on disconcur.com if you're interested in talking more or finding out more about myself. I'm also on Twitter, which I am at Disconcur. Facebook page is Disconcur as well. And guess what? My YouTube channel is also Disconcur as well. So I'm fairly easy to find. Google search Disconcur. I normally come up as the first result in most things. But so awesome. So that's been Heroes Untapped. Thanks very much for coming on the show, everyone. You guys have been great. Thanks, Skimmy. Thanks, Shy. And thanks, Happy Rage. You've been a great co-host. And that's it. Until next week. Catch us next week again for a second episode. I think we've done pretty well. So we'll do it again. Another 7 days of an exciting ride. So that's it. Thanks very much, everyone. And I will see you all in the Nexus. Did you like that? Did you like that last bit?
Yeah.
Well done.
Nice.
Good
Smooth,
job.
mate. Smooth. I like it.
All right, I gotta head, guys. Nice chatting with you.
Yeah, no worries.
And see you
Likewise,
later.
bro.
Laters, bros.
See you around,
Bye.
man.
Take it easy. All right. Thank you much, Skimmy. Thanks very much, Skimmy, again. And
Hey, cheers for having me
Happy
along,
Rage.
bro.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming along. It's we're still streaming, by the way, so don't say anything too exciting. But
That's cool, man.
No, thanks very much. I mean, you guys were great. I mean, let's face it, if I didn't have you guys on the show, no one wants to listen to Disconcur speak for, like 2 hours? Oh my God. I was like thinking, let's do a
50-minute
40-minute podcast.
You could do the whole circus
Yeah.
show, start juggling balls and, get all the Twitch viewers.
That's it. I'll do a 20